Okay, this wasn't actually a planned podcast. I had a different person that I was gonna do, but I went to the DPR Dallas Irving slash Dallas Irving show, and I came out of that feeling totally different about DPR Cream. That was not what I was expecting at all. Um, I felt for some reason like really emotional. I'll probably put a screenshot in there. I think I made 2 or 3 voice notes at like 3 a.m. because I was thinking about this performance so much. And I had heard Cream's music before, obviously. I knew a few of his songs. I hadn't heard the whole album yet, though. But I listened to it after the show. And I had so much to say. And oh my God, his existence in the entire show and in like DPR in general just made sense after that. After watching that show, I was like, this is why he's in DPR. Like it it was an experience I've actually never really felt at a show with an artist before. Because of course artists do their thing, they turn up or they dance, sing, theatrics. If they're not into that, they have a band, whatever. People do their best, obviously. But he put on such a, to me, very unique show. Like the entire time he was singing, it just felt like he was singing in his room. It was like he was singing for himself and we were just there to witness it. Like, not that he was disconnected in any way though. I never felt like he was distant emotionally or like he wasn't with the crowd or he wasn't, you know what I'm saying, keeping that connection with the crowd and everything. But it was more so he was performing for him. Like he had something to say. He felt some kind of way. These are notes, by the way. This is why my notebook making that noise. Yeah, he just felt like he really had to say something, and he was just saying it to us. Even the set, I was thinking about this too at 3 a.m. The background with like the city and him walking around, even the lighting, the warmth of the lighting, his clothing, it just felt so homely and it felt so personal and really, really emotional and intimate and personal. Like he was really doing this shit for him. Like I know we are fans, right? We're there, but it felt so authentic to who he is as a person. Like, and I got all that, not even just from the music. Like yes, the music is good, but the performance was so different. I can't get over how, not ominous, I don't know what word to use for it, but how like the emotional feeling it left me when it was over. I wasn't expecting to feel like that after. But it felt like with the headphones on, even that's a very introverted thing to do. Like he was doing very introverted things extrovertedly. Like he was doing his performance, he was singing, but there was this sense of like he's thinking out loud. He's to himself. He's in his head. Like I said, even the background with the city lights and like the buildings and the streets, it's like that was the outfit he wore with the bag and the headphones and the baggy clothes, to walk around the city. And he was walking around this city having these thoughts and he was just saying these thoughts out loud. That's exactly what the entire set felt like. That was the synopsis I got. Like even his vocals were so much more emotional than they were on the tracks. Like when I went back to listen to the rest of the album, oh my god, especially Puberty 2 and 3, the production on those songs. The produ- I was like, this is amazing. And that's another thing that I realized during the show too. Each song that he played, just speaking outside of the personal part, just sonically, he had a lot of songs that had these like 90s break drums. I don't know what else to call them, but they're like those UK garage, like Pink Panthers uses them a lot too. And he has a lot of those in his music. But hearing the longer version of his creative ideas in the Puberty Part 2 and 3, unreal. Unreal. I'm serious. Like, I could not conceptualize how good those songs were, like just technically, because I'm a nerd and I just liked hearing all of the different like sonically things that he chose to do in both those songs. And all three, I mean, part 1, 2, but 2 and 3 were just the ones that I really, really remember. How they transition together, how they relate to each other, it was just incredible. T. I think I talked about T. Did I talk about T yet? Oh no, the vocals on T. And even though he has a lot of autotune and like stylistic choosing things on his vocals and things like that, the way he sings is very not lazy, but there's a sense of it's very not easy. Oh my god, I don't know how else to explain it. I guess similar to how I was explaining how personal his performance and like everything attributed to the performance was, felt the same way for his vocals, especially on that song. He really, really, really sang his ass off, by the way, too. Like, I was really impressed by that. And his piano playing was really good. I can tell he likes a certain amount of chords because I was listening to the songs and he had a few of them and he plays them a lot. He's a good piano player. What was something that I was thinking about that was like, whoa. What is it? This is why I have to write everything down because I cannot remember. I feel like I was missing something. There was a really good build to his show too. Like the build energetically, like with Ian, he's very theatrical in the sense of he does the whole dramatics. There's a climax. There's an intro for different songs with different like clothes. Like he does a lot of the flamboyantly dramatic theatrical stuff. This theatrics felt more like a soliloquy. You know, soliloquy, like he was having his own dark, this is my moment fucking speech with the spotlight. Like I don't know if I'm dramatizing it in my head, but that's how it felt when I was watching it. I was like, oh my god, this guy is so, yes, he's passionate, but like he's being so honest right now. I couldn't understand half of the lyrics. And that doesn't matter because I could tell he was saying something he really, really felt, he really wanted to say, and he had to get it out. Like he had to sing. Yes, he just had to sing. Like he wasn't singing to sing well. He did sing well, but he wasn't singing to sing well. It wasn't to impress people or be the other kind of dramatics that I was talking about. It was more so impactful emotionally. And that's why I am talking about it right now. Seriously, he did such a good job. And I think what really shocked me was like how he was able to be so personal and so internal and like really introverted. Everything about the set was very introverted, but still very connected to everyone. Like the energy was there. Does that make sense? Like, oh my gosh, that was really amazing, and it just made me think. And I swear to God, in that moment, it was the last song, and I was thinking to myself, yeah, this is why he's in DPR. There's an extreme sense of individuality. He has his own way of approaching things and expressing himself that's very tailored to him. He has his own, like, what's the word? Kind of like his signature thing. He likes the very abstract sounds. Some of it feels kind of R&B, but it's like alternative R&B. I don't know if I could categorize it. Sometimes I feel like we shouldn't even do that. Yeah, I feel like we have gotten to a point where people should be and can be as collaborative with genres as possible, to the point where it's like, I don't think we really need a name of the genre. That too, I couldn't, like I said, it was kind of R&B-ish. He had a couple of like alternative moments, but I could not put a finger on like what genre this is supposed to be. He's singing, but there's a lot of rap elements to his production. There's a lot of heaviness. He's got a lot of compression on that shit. There's a lot of like chaos in his music. but it's controlled chaos. It feels like there's intentionality behind it. It makes sense, but it still has that like his voice. He doesn't really go too crazy with his voice, but the music, the instrumental is insane. It's so intense. It's so like the juxtaposition, like the opposites just come together so well. And yeah, I don't think you can really put a genre on it. I think when I looked it up, it did say he was like K-R&B, like Korean R&B. I don't think I'd put it in that category. I think it's just a genreless. I think he's just a kind of genreless alternative. I guess you could say it's alternative, which is like a safe word for stuff we can't put a name on. We just say alternative. Yeah, that shit was fucking amazing. And for such a small set too, like he didn't have a lot going on, you know, props and all of that, to do so much with so little just proves he is the thing. Does that make sense? Like, he is the main event. Like, he doesn't have to do the pyro and crazy stuff, which is great, by the way. And it really works for a lot of artists. Like, if you do it right, do your own thing, like, yes, it's good. But I think it's even more amazing when an artist can be so incredible with such a stripped back, very, I guess you could say modest kind of setup. Yeah, it just struck me. It struck me so hard. Even after he was done performing and it was gonna come out, I was still thinking about it a little bit. Because I just wasn't expecting to feel like I got to know him so much. And maybe all of my synopsis is my imagination and I've pushed it way farther than what he's thinking about it. But everything about it was just very, not in a bad way, but like very homely, very personal. Even the color, like he had that gold color lighting on him. It just felt so beautifully, yes, it's just so beautifully vulnerable. Like, yeah, I teared up a few times, especially towards the end. Darling, T, oh my gosh. I was like, I can feel it. I felt it so much more. Because like I said, I'd heard a few of the songs before the show. And they were good. But they didn't feel the same. And I think that's really, really good as an artist to have that. You know that there's some people who can record certain vocals in the booth and then they can't do it during the live show. It's like the opposite for him. It's like he did this in the studio. He recorded this. But then he like catapulted it in the live show. He made it so much better. Everything made it better. His vocals made it better. His playing made it better. Like, even the transitions between songs and, I don't know, his presence made the music better. Yeah, his presence made the music better. Just like him being there and expressing it, like, and I guess that's the purpose of a concert. I feel like that sounds dumb, but I don't think I've ever really felt like that watching someone live and thinking like, oh, this did not feel like this during the recording. Because you can do things that are technically better live. Obviously, people do remixes and like extended versions of their songs live, and just to, you know, add some je ne sais quoi to it. But it doesn't usually change how I feel about the song. Does that make sense? Like, I usually don't feel differently about the song after I hear it live. I like it more, but it didn't make me totally change 100% how I saw it. Because I liked it before, I liked it after. I liked it before. After, it felt like another universe. I was like, this is really, really fucking emotional. Why was it not this emotional when I was listening to it and looking at the lyrics? Why did I not feel this intensely? It was him. It was him, dude. And that's his unique thing. That's crazy. Like, people's music, people's vocals, people's dancing or stage presence, like those things make them special. And he's good at those things, but like just him being him made it amazing. Like him just being there. Him just being there and like acting very authentically. There was like even the way he moved, like just walking around. I don't know. It was just it felt so fucking real. That shit felt raw as fuck. I was like, I like him. I didn't dislike him, obviously, before. But I just saw him totally differently after this. Like, wow. He's different. Who he is, just him being him was what made it so different and fucking unique and cool and inspirational and just like, wow. Yeah. It's really been something I've thought about since the show. Obviously, everybody did a great job, but specifically because Cream just surprised me so much. He's so talented. I mean, of course, he'd have to be to produce all his own shit and like help other people produce their shit and like write his own stuff and sing his own stuff. That does make you talented. But to be able to bring like that, like to be able to bring music to life like that. And it was just like him and a light and a table with his equipment. Like, what? That blew my mind. I was like, he's powerful. He's powerful. He has something. That's the thing. Like, I swear to you, I was in the crowd having this moment. I was thinking, like, God damn. This is... Wow. I'm imagining it again right now. Even when he walked up to the end of the stage, because I was like in the middle, maybe like 2 or 3 rows back. But even when he walked to the stage, he still kept his hat really low. That might just be a stylistic thing. Like I said, he might just like it like that. But it added to the whole set. It added to the whole vibe. Like, it was the whole energy. It was even keeping his hat low and still singing and like walking towards the crowd and like interacting with people. There's still this sense of like, I'm in my own world. And like I said, not in a bad way. But the whole set just felt like his own little private world. He was just so natural and oh my god. I'm so happy about it because it's something I've discovered. I always like discovering new things. But just not feeling like that about someone I'm seeing live for the first time especially just left a really big impression on me. Like Cream is very, very, very special for that reason. That stage changed me. That it really did. It changed how I saw him 100%. And I did finally listen to the album. It was amazing. He's really eccentric. I like that. I like that he really goes for very different sounds. Especially, like I said, in puberty. Oh my god. Like, listening to that for the first time, I wish you could have seen my face the first time I sat down to listen to that fucking album and I heard that instrumental. I nearly peeled my skin off. I was like, God, this is good. I mean, he's been producing, I think, for like 10 years now. It's 2024. So yeah, I think since like 2013, 2012, maybe even. So granted, you should be good at your job. But there's a lot of people who produce music. There's a lot of people who sing. There's a lot of people who perform. A lot of people want to do this shit. Trust me, I see it all the time. I'm always looking at artists. I'm always looking at art and music and film, whatever, all the time to try and just see if I can find something different. And this time, I wasn't even looking for it. I wasn't really expecting anything from the show. I expected it to be good. I was going to enjoy it, but I didn't expect to come out feeling what I do now. Yeah, he's great. He's really great. Like, I get it. I get it. I get it now. I immediately was like, yep, this is what makes him different. And I think that's the purpose of why people get added to DPR. is they have this uniqueness about them, this individuality about them, this purpose about them that, in my opinion, makes them eligible, right? Because I've noticed that through the members that have gotten to be added to the team. I'm like, okay, who's this person? What do they do? What do they like? Not in comparison. I don't compare them to the others, or like rank them. They're all doing different shit, but that's the purpose. They're all different. They're all expressing themselves so different. Like live shit is, like they all have their own thing, and yeah, Cream proved that for real to me that night. And that was a fucking crazy night. A lot of shit happened I did not expect. And getting to meet Ian was great. Getting to see him and Arctic was amazing. Arctic put on a good show too. But I have to say, from the show, the number one thing I kind of walked out with was Cream. It's like a light bulb went off in my head. I was like, this is a special guy. And I did not know why before. I see why now. I see why now. This is a special man. He should be very proud of himself. I can tell he really likes a lot of muted stuff on his music too. Like his drums, like the way he EQs his vocals. Like I can tell he likes a lot of over compression, a lot of muted stuff, a lot of just, like I said, eccentric, unique things. And his arrangements are cool too. I'm trying to think of anything else I was thinking about during this time. Wow, I said this. Sorry, sometimes I look back at my own notes and I'm like, damn, you really said that. I said the whole show was like being in water when you feel a tide coming, but you can't see it. You can feel the power slowly building up to the last song. Like it felt very freeing. It felt like this build up, and he just let go. Like he was having all these thoughts and feelings, blah, blah, blah. And then the last song, it was just like I said, I don't know if all of this stuff was intentional. I don't know if I noticed things that maybe he wasn't even thinking about. And he was just like, I just like my hat like that. I just like this color lighting. I didn't think farther about it, but that's how I saw it, and that's how I experienced it, and it was incredible. And yeah, I think he should be very proud of himself. I think this is his first tour with DPR. Don't quote me, but I think it is. I think it's his first time, his first couple shows performing. Shit, he killed it.